What's going on, my fragrance friends? Today I have got a brand new clone that you probably haven't heard of yet unless you caught my live stream that I did about this fragrance. This is one that was sent to me that I didn't even know was coming, and I sprayed it and immediately was impressed at how close it is in many ways to the fragrance it's emulating. I want to review some other fragrances in this line and dupes of them, working our way up to this new one that I think is absolutely fantastic. So before we get going, consider impersonating or perhaps cloning, becoming an alternative to the like button, or just give it a click. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Let me know in the comments, do you have these originals? What do you think? And are you aware of any clones that I don't know about yet? All right, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to be talking about the Wanted line from AZARRO. My current favorites are Wanted by Night and the Most Wanted Parfum. I like the Most Wanted EDP as well. I don't own it. I have several other things that I would say smell similar. I've got a number of the Stronger With You fragrances, and a couple others that are kind of in that wheelhouse. These, on the other hand, are pretty unique. Also have the original Wanted as well, and it's not in this video. It's good, but I think each flanker really improved on that DNA. All right, so first of all, this one, Wanted by Night, is absolutely fire. It's one of my favorite fragrances, definitely top 10 of all time, maybe even top 5. I love tobacco fragrances. I love spicy fragrances. And this one opens with some fruit. Fruity notes is what AZARRO calls it, as well as some citrus. You get some spice right away from some cinnamon and some other spices. And then you begin to get this warm, kind of honeyed vanilla tobacco that starts to come in, and it becomes this warm, spicy, sweet tobacco fragrance. It is absolutely sexy, magnetic, a great date night fragrance, you know, evening wear all around. And this one right here, there's a reason that the fragrance community really loves it. It is well deserved. And there's a few clones of that one. One of them I'm not going to put in this video because it is not worthy to be before your eyeballs in this video because it sucks. And that is Paris Corner's Wayfarer. Not Wayfarer Intense. I believe that one is the Most Wanted Intense dupe. I don't have that one yet. I'd like to pick it up, but I can't find it. But I'm talking about the original Wayfarer. It comes in a box that looks almost identical to the original Wanted by Night box. The color scheme is the same. They're obviously telegraphing this is Wanted by Night, and it smells nothing like it. I mean, almost nothing like it. It really smells about 80% similar to the original Wanted. So it smells good, but it's not Wanted by Night. On the other hand, this one right here, if you can just, I don't know if you can feel or maybe discern or smell what this might be cloning. This is a company that obviously has aped the bottle in every way. And even though it looks very, very similar to the Wanted by Night bottle, it's actually very cheap. This is a very cheap plastic cap. Look at that little cheap atomizer, you know, just dinky plastic. So the presentation is not very impressive if you're, you know, any closer than about 10 feet away. But the fragrance is actually pretty impressive. It smells a lot like Wanted by Night. Like even the opening, they capture that sort of sour fruitiness, that spiciness, you know, they really capture it well. But two things that are a hit against this one. One is there's a little bit of a cheap synthetic feel to this one. However, I've had this for about a year, and the synthetic vibe, which I'm actually tasting in a very strong way right now, the fragrance, it is way less than it was when I got it. I mean, this actually smells a lot better than it did whenever I got it. It's in the 85% close territory. The other hit against it is that it didn't last very long. Whenever I got it, it was about a 4-hour fragrance. It's now more like about a 6-hour fragrance. So it is a good alternative. I'll have a link to this one down in the description, and you know, keep it for a year. I mean, that's frustrating, right? But it gets way, way better. This one's called AZARRO Noir After Dark a really cheap clone pickup. All right, the other one that is actually surprisingly good, this one is from a company called Fragbar that does some clones and inspired fragrances. Then they sell a bunch of fragrances as well. They've actually got pretty good prices as well, and I think good deals on shipping and things like that. But anyway, this is their version of Wanted by Night, and it is surprisingly close to Wanted by Night. I would put it also in about that 85% similar category. This one, the opening, for about the first 3 minutes or so, it's not that impressive, especially whenever you first get it. There was a good bit of alcohol in the opening, and it took a good 3 to 5 minutes to settle down. But again, now that I've had it for a year, the opening is pretty good. It's not as strong, it's not as potent or dense as Wanted by Night, but it smells like Wanted by Night. And then as it begins to dry down, even 5 minutes in, it smells a lot more like Wanted by Night. And by the time it dries down, you're in that 85 to 90% similar territory. This one's got pretty good performance. It's probably a good 7+ hour fragrance, maybe even longer. Probably longer now that it's a year old, but I haven't tested it again for longevity. But it's a great alternative to Wanted by Night, and I think these little 30 ml bottles are, I think, less than $30. They might even be, they might be significantly less. I'll put the price on the screen since I don't remember it off the top of my head, but good pricing as well. Now, this fragrance, the Most Wanted Parfum, I was not aware of any dupe until a few weeks ago. And this one is still at retail about $100 to $120. I haven't seen it below that, except maybe just rare occasions. So this one's still quite expensive, and it smells amazing. It's got ginger, bourbon vanilla, and incandescent woods is what AZARRO tells you. But basically, you've got this sort of spicy ginger vanilla opening with some sort of a fruit. I suspect there's maybe some neroli in this fragrance, giving it a little bit of almost like a, fruity kind of a vibe. And there may be some fruit also, not too dissimilar from Wanted by Night in the way that there's a little bit of a fruity vibe in the opening with that ginger and a lot of vanilla. And then it begins to dry down, and it really becomes kind of a sweet vanilla fabric softener kind of a scent. But the vanilla is so vibrant. Ginger does something magical to vanilla, and this fragrance definitely has that. It keeps that effervescent, sparkly ginger kind of flavoring the vanilla. And then there's that very clean, again, almost fabric softener kind of a dry down. It smells great. You can wear it pretty much any time of the year unless it's super hot outside. It's really a fantastic fragrance. I got a random email about 2 weeks ago saying that I was getting a shipment from Fragbar. And I thought, that's weird. I didn't order anything. And I reached out to just responded to the email. They said, we saw your video on our Wanted by Night fragrance, and so we decided to send you this one. So they sent me this Extrait de Parfum clone of AZARRO, the Most Wanted Parfum, and I got it out of the box. I got it maybe about a week ago now, and I sprayed it, and I literally said out loud, wow, and I ended up spraying it all around my neck, and I sprayed it on my arm because it smells so very close to the Most Wanted Parfum. In the opening, it's almost identical, probably 90% similar. You get all of the same notes. The quality is there. It is a dense fragrance, being an Extrait de Parfum, but the original is a very dense fragrance as well. I wouldn't say this one is stronger, but I would say on par with the original, at least in the strength, longevity. I don't know for sure, but I'll have some comments on that later. But here's what I'll tell you. As it begins to transition, as it begins to dry down, this one, the Fragbar, does not maintain all of the vanillic sweetness that the Most Wanted Parfum does. I would say it loses, I would guess, 20% of that vanillic sweetness. So in the dry down, you still have that sweet vanilla fabric softener with a little bit of that ginger sparkle. But what you end up getting is about 20% more of that clean fabric softener vibe. And so I have some thoughts about that. One thought is this will certainly macerate massively over the next few months. It's brand new. It just was released as far as I know. And being an extrait de parfum, the density of those oils are going to break down in that alcohol solution, and I would bet you that this one's going to get sweeter over the next few months. That's usually what happens to clones. If they are sweet fragrances, it's going to get sweeter, and I have a hope that this is going to be much closer to the original in the dry down in a couple months. Now, that being said, it's still in that probably 85% similar territory. It's just cleaner and not as sweet. That's not a bad thing. Some people would actually prefer that. So I would say it's a good alternative to the Most Wanted Parfum, especially if you like the clean facet of this one. You're going to get just a touch more. But if you just like the fragrance in general, then you are going to like this dupe from Fragbar. I do have a discount code. Again, I didn't ask for this fragrance, but I did reach out to them and said, hey, I'm going to do a video about this. Can you give me a discount code for my viewers? And so down below, I have links. I've got a discount code. You can save, I think, 10% if you use that. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the originals? Do you know of any dupes? And remember, before you click away from the video, consider impersonating or cloning or maybe just duping the like button right before you give it a click, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.